In this video, I'm going to talk about what you can buy with $1 million, and you're going to be shocked. That is not a lot. So $1 million is just not a lot of money. I know you think it is because you've never made it, but once you've made it, you're going to be surprised. You're going to want multi-million-dollar status. So in this video, we're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about how you might get the million, and unfortunately, what's going to happen to it straight off the top, unless you have the strategy I'm going to teach you. Number two, I'm going to talk about how to use the tax system to leverage this for your highest benefit. And number three, some fun scenarios. Some of you that are searching this obviously are big spenders and you want to have like a fun life. Some of you want to put it to work and invest it. So let's talk about both of those. All right, so let's get started. How might you make $1 million? Well, some of you love the lottery and you play the lottery, and that's interesting. Some of you are high-paid athletes. I will work with a lot of high-paid athletes. Some of you might have had an inheritance, and then some of you might have just made it. So however you're thinking about getting your million, I am the Millionaire Maker, and I'm going to help you get there. If you haven't, at the end of our video, I'm going to give you a link. I'm going to give you an application to work with me. Cannot wait to make you a millionaire. My promise is 3 to 5 years. So when you make this first million, that doesn't mean you're going to be a millionaire, right? When I say millionaire, I'm talking assets, which is what you own, minus your liability, which is what you owe or you spend, is your net worth. So I'm talking about a net worth millionaire. In this conversation and in this search, you were saying, what do you buy with $1 million? Well, first of all, how are you going to make it? And some of you, I'll talk about all in seriousness. The ones that I have a big heart and soul for are the athletes. The athletes make a lot of money, and typically they came from no money. And I see it because I'm working with them. So many of their friends and family all of a sudden show up and want them to buy everything. Their car, they want to contribute to their household, they want to live in their household, they want a loan. They all of a sudden have become an amazing business person and they have a deal. And I see so many people getting, I'm going to say, ripped off by that. So a lot of you, you need a plan. I'm not a financial planner, not a tax advisor. I've just been doing this for 25 years and I have a lot of strategies for you. Number two are the people who are that'll receive an inheritance. So if that inheritance was received and it wasn't transferred properly, I'm a huge fan of generational wealth. I didn't grow up with generational wealth. I grew up on a farm in Nebraska and no conversation about money. So when I had kids, I knew, and I wrote the Millionaire Maker book, I'm going to give this a go. Right? I had read Think and Grow Rich, and I'm going to say, let's see if this works. And it works. I have created millionaires of my children. I have created millionaires of teenagers. I have created many thousands of millionaires. So if you want to be one, I'm in your conversation. I'm going to help you learn the strategies. But for those of you who didn't have that transfer, that knowledge transfer from the person who made the money to now you who is now responsible for it, one of two things is going to happen. You're going to blow it and it'll be gone in 2 years. That's statistically the truth. Or you won't do a darn thing with it. You'll leave it parked exactly like mom, dad, auntie, whoever gave it to you, because you're so scared of it because you've never had that much money. As I look at it, it's potentially horribly invested. You're getting way overpaid in taxes. How you received it's going to be a nightmare for your estate, whether you had an estate or not. So those are my two heart and soul, serious ones that are out listening. For those of you who just want to go make a bunch of money, let's go build a company. That's what I would coach you to do. Build a big company, build it fast. You can easily make $1 million in a company in a year. Now, from nothing and no resources, that's a little tougher. It might take a few years. And again, making $1 million is not becoming a millionaire. Because I've had people make the million, spend $900,000 and keep $100,000. That's not actually a bad first run. But now you only have $100,000 to work with. See, what happens if it's the lottery? If it comes to you as an individual, at least 40%, if not 50%, is going to be taxed straight off the top. So really, what do you have? You've got about $600,000 or less to work with. That's the same as a high-paid athlete. High-paid athletes are employees. They are not paid through the company, right, through their legal corporate structure. So as an employee, you make $1 million as an employee. Say you became a great salesperson for some high-tech company or pharmaceutical company, and you've been paid $1 million. If it's paid as an employee, I'm not going to say it's just as bad as the lottery, but it's right up there. A lot of taxes taken out. And then you get to live on what's left. So still, we're only talking about $500,000-$600,000 for a lot of you that get the money that way. So if you look at all the strategies and how do you get to $1 million and what $1 million can buy you, $1 million Coming as an inheritance would be my number one choice, but I would love to get way in front of it. So if you're out there and you are going to inherit some money, please comment below and say, I'm inheriting money. Please help me, Loral. That's what I want you to say. Those are your exact comments. And then I want you to like it, and we'll be right back out here. We check these comments daily to help you. So that's kind of number one. And if you're an athlete, again, how you can create some strategies around that. So the challenge is how the money comes to you and how much of it you get to keep. Because if it comes as a business, as it comes through a corporate structure, a C Corp, an LLC, an S Corp, and those are in America, in principle, this works all over the world. But if it comes to you as a company, you get all these legal deductions to keep all that money. So I think the first question for you is, how do you want to make it, right? Before, you obviously have to make it before you go out and spend it and what you're going to decide to buy with it. Now, as we look at that piece, I mean, obviously you'll have your living expenses. I would say go buy real estate. I'm a massive fan of real estate, and I'd rather have you owning where you live. I'd rather have you owning, I just bought some RV parks. I'd rather have you owning the asset. The core asset is critical. Real estate has huge depreciation schedules attached to it, and invest it. I have some brand new millionaires, some millennial millionaires, I call them, and they got it through some stock options. And again, they're going to get heavily taxed on it. So there's a huge tax burden on that. And then if you go to digital currency, you got another tax burden. A lot of misinformation is happening out here in the Google world, the search world, that digital currency is not going to be taxed by the IRS or your tax agency around the world. That is not true. It is going to be taxed. It's going to be taxed very similarly. Some of it to real estate, which is interesting, like a 1031 exchange. Some of it will be taxed just straight up capital gains. So if you put money, say, into Bitcoin in a straight account attached to your name, not in a Roth or not other vehicles that can protect and have better tax strategy, you're going to get hit hard. So my job is a money expert. I have strategies around money to help you make it, help you spend it, help you understand different strategies to manage tax and invest it. Most of all, I have accumulated this great team around me of extraordinary experts who will really be the ones front-facing and helping you out. So I want to reinforce how the money's made. Because a lot of you, if you make it as an employee and it comes straight to you, that's why like these publisher clearinghouses and these lotteries sound very sexy and amazing, but it's going to come to you as an individual unless you buy the lottery ticket through a company. Now, very few people understand corporate structure. And when you're a company, you have the legal right to take all these deductions. In America, it's 80,000 pages of tax code, which is why I have clients all over the world who typically, over time, as they do create wealth, have a company in the United States. Why? Because of our 81,000+ pages of tax code. For example, in Canada, it's in the 300 to 3,400 pages, like 3,000, 3,300. In Australia, similar, maybe 4,000. Different parts of the world have very minimal tax strategies. So when you make money, you have very few choices to do deductions. In America, it's 80,000 pages. So when you make it, if you make it through a corporation or a trust, you can now enact all these strategies for tax benefits. I have people making millions and millions of dollars through corporations. They have legal deductions, including in payroll, including their employees, if you're an employee of your own company, that's very different. But I will give you one tip. If you're an employee of your own company, you don't need to pay yourself a big salary. The company's making money and the company has legal deductions that are really handling a lot of things that you do in your life. If you have kids, you need to employ your kids. That's another tax deduction. So you really want it to be a holistic, what I call generational wealth plan. That's why I love legacy planning for those of you that are going to receive or those of you that are listening that are going to give someone a legacy. Do it while they're alive, very consciously and aware that you worked really hard for that money and you want it to last for generations, not a few years, right? And it's critical. I have family after family after family that I could tell you stories of that they built huge generational wealth. And I live in northern Nevada, so I'm in huge ranch land. I'm in casino gambling, gaming land. I mean, northern Nevada, actually, you can do anything up there. We have the Mustang ranches. So, it is Nevada. You can do anything. But these families, the generations that built it, did not pass it on to educated kids, and they are turning it into something very, very different or losing it literally in a couple years. I do have to go back to the athletes and again, just reinforce, most athletes that make money go out and buy a big lifestyle, a lot of diamond jewelry. They'll buy, if it's sellable, I'm okay with it actually, as long as you want to get rid of it and resell it, because the gold and diamonds can be resold. So if it's an investment, that's different. But why buy a depreciating asset? Like if you really want a Ferrari and a nice car, buy a used one. Why would you even buy? I own a car dealership with some other partners. You buy a new car, you take it straight off the lot, you got a depreciation schedule, immediately depreciates. So if you're gonna make it and you're gonna buy, I want you to buy appreciating assets like real estate. You can buy some digital currency, put your money to investments, buy some companies. I love buying companies. It's a great time to buy companies right now. With all the volatility in this market, I mean, the entrepreneur is struggling. You could be a partner in many, many companies and take that million and make it 10 million. So you have an option to just spend it and blow it, right, on stuff or invest it. But what could you buy? All right, let's just talk about a few things. You could buy a Lamborghini. You could buy a variety of cars. Now, let's just talk about what I would do if you're a car person. My husband's a car person, likes older cars. Some of you like, really fast speed cars. So I actually have two different clients who did this, and they bought a lot of cars. But we put it in a company. I helped coach them and strategize how to put it in a company. And it's what's called the Elite Car Club. And so instead of buying one car, they got together with a group of their other very high paid employees. Some were athletes, some were doctors, some were lawyers. And they each bought a car and they all put it into one club. So instead of buying and having one Ferrari or one Lamborghini, or a Maserati or whatever, Aston Martin, whatever you want to have, they would have a club so you could take out a variety of different cars and enjoy the variety of the cars. They actually would sell memberships for $32,000 a year. You got to have access to a certain amount of drive time hours. So I think you could buy 20 or 25 hours of drive time hours, and each time you could take out a different car. So you don't have to put the big investment into all of it. So I've done a lot of these things on how to make the money and put it into a company. So if you want to do it with cars, if you want to do it with real estate, if you want to do it with airplanes, you want to buy art. I have people buying literally gold, silver, and diamonds. But again, not just for jewelry to wear, but to use it. You can wear it for a while, but I want it to be resellable so you can put it back out on the market. So when you make your millions, I want you to buy the things that can appreciate, that you can resell, that you can actually stay a multimillionaire, grow into a multimillionaire. 1 million is interesting, but don't you want to be worth more? So let's have a lot of fun with this. I think it's a fun search term. I think it's fun that you're here learning about it. Those of you that want to be a millionaire, I promise you in 3 to 5 years in this environment, if you get to it and do everything we say, you can do it. So below, I have a copy of my Millionaire Maker book. Yep, I'm giving you the whole darn book, but you have to read it properly. You got to read the first 3 chapters and do what I call a gap analysis. Then I want you to read the next chapters and find the story of within 7 families. There's 7 families in the book. Which one's most like you? Whatever you did yourself financially, which one is most like you? Now, I'm also going to put in an application. So you're going to go to the description, you're going to click on the link, get the book, but I also want you to fill out an application to be a millionaire. So whether you're going to get it in a lottery, whether you're going to get it in inheritance, you're going to become a high-paid athlete, however you're going to get it, you're going to need a plan, you're going to need a strategist. Call me an advocate. Somebody's going to advocate financial literacy, financial wealth for you and your family. So click on the links, get it right now. Let's begin.